I definitely feel like it was the right time for me in my life for it to end. It was amazing, and I wouldn't have the platform I have. I wouldn't have so many things without it. So I definitely honor the journey, and I'm very grateful to Bravo and everybody for giving me such an amazing opportunity. But Housewives, it was very interesting in the beginning because my self-worth and self-esteem would rise and fall based on what the audience thought of me that week. Looking back, it makes me sad that I was going through that, and my kids, I don't know, sometimes it makes me sad about the breaking down for my kids, or, going through things emotionally with my children in the room, because sometimes you just can't help it.
Not having self-love is a very difficult place to be.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the lack of self-love and where it leaves you and how vulnerable it leaves you to every little thing that happens in the world and everybody's opinion. Mm-hmm. And one of the things you've talked about is when you were young and in love and things didn't work out, you tried to kill yourself.
Especially the older I get, the more I realize that like I do with everybody, I let my value rise in relationships. My value would either rise or fall based on what the person I was with thought of me. I was with somebody who was very toxic, and now I can look at him with so much compassion because I don't think he really loved himself. But whenever I left that relationship, my low self-esteem was in the floor, and I could not cope. And I went into the worst depression, and I remember being at home at the time and my mom was home. She was in her bed taking a nap, and I remember going into the bathroom and taking a bottle of prescription pills, it was completely full, taking all of them, and then laying in my bed, and then I started feeling very loopy, and it hit me that what I had done. So I remember crawling to my mom, telling her what I had done. She called the ambulance. They came, took me to the hospital. And whenever it came out on the show, at the time I drank a little bit too much, so I was just talking and kind of forgetting the cameras were on. But it was the most freeing experience of my life because I feel like I was always trying to be so perfect, especially on Housewives, but it was the one time where I was like, I just felt like, okay, it's all out there. So if you love me, that's fine. If I'm crazy and you don't like me, then that's just my truth. It was very freeing. And it was actually very healing because I realized that so many people were dealt with the same thing I did. So where I thought I would be made fun of and kind of the target of everyone's joke as the crazy housewife, I was really surrounded with a lot of love and compassion, and it was just such a healing thing. And for that alone, I'm so grateful I did the show.
What have you learned about how something that insignificant, a relationship with a guy, could leave someone with a lack of self-love in a place where they didn't want to live?
Whenever you don't have self-esteem, other people, you kind of get it from other people. And for me, his love made me feel like I was worthy of love. And whenever I didn't have it, I felt like I was a worthless person.
I'm curious, so where do you start? What do you do? What are a couple of things you would tell women about if you're in that position and you don't have self-love? You see these self-love things all over Instagram. Just love yourself. And I always want to say, well, if it were that easy, don't you think I'd just do it? You have to, so how do you build it?
A lot of times I think you treat your good friends with a lot more compassion than you treat yourself. So whenever I'm disappointed in myself or I'm not feeling good enough, I'll try to talk to myself like I would a friend, because you should be a friend to yourself. Meditation, going on walks. I walk the Katy Trail all the time. Not because it's probably the most effective exercise to, look great in a swimsuit, but because mentally it puts me in such a good space. And also just advocating for myself and standing up for myself. And I think if you just do things, treat yourself like you would your child or your best friend, or it changes things. because you talk to yourself a little kinder.
And I've found boundaries to be really significant, because the few times when I've had the nerve to set a boundary, when I was really scared, when I really didn't want to, because I knew it was going to cost me, but I went ahead and advocated for myself anyway, in a difficult situation, I look back now and I say, I did that for me. And it's the beginning of a new foundation.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yes, that's something I still need to work on, boundary, but yes.
Where do you get the courage to make a decision on your own behalf that's different from what you would have done before you loved yourself?
What I was doing in the past was not working, so I had to change.
So when I'm trying to do something different and I don't have the courage to, because I honestly don't know if it's right or wrong, what I go out and I take a walk around the block and I talk to God.
Oh, I love that, yes.
So we think about self-love as being bubble baths and fun stuff and all that. When you want to just indulge yourself, how do you? What is self-care to you? That's just totally fun.
Okay, so every night, without fail, I do take a bath every night. It's my time to relax and unwind. And every night, if we go to a hotel room and they have a shower, I'm so sad, because that's kind of my favorite thing to do. For me, I want to give my boys the healthiest, happiest version of myself possible. And that is maybe if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't be so, I don't know, like be chasing love and happiness and like value myself and self-love. But it matters to them because it's going to shape them. What they see, how they see me treating myself is how they're going to treat themselves.